Okay, so here we are for a at Vegas Horse Pools pre-prep contest in preparation for what we're looking forward to on a Saturday evening after Nebraska games. Is that when it is? When they're done and
Before.
dusted, or before? Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait a
Um,
minute. No dusting. No dusting. We did have a slight problem yesterday. We ran a virtual game. They played Penn State. Did not work out the way I expected. I broadcasted that one live on YouTube yesterday. But Nebraska is going to win the national title this year, so they're going to lose some virtual games on the way.
okay, well, rather than lose the virtual ones than the real ones.
You're right. That's
But yes, I believe it's going to be 4:01 Pacific, 7:01 Eastern, Saturday evenings after the Circa picks are submitted. I mean, pretty much I'm going to be an open book that maybe has a few pages closed at the end, but we'll see what happens. And, fire away, Scott. Let's see what you come up with, and I'll see what information I can give based on tomorrow's preseason games, correct?
perfect. This is going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to run these shows Saturday night at 4:01 Pacific, and the first thing we're going to cover is the proxy business and what kind of picks went where and what Adam liked and what he picked and all of that. But we're going to skip that part today. We're going to go right to the good stuff. This is the part where you guys are going to actually make some money. Adam has agreed to let us look behind the counter. Are we looking behind the counter in Ohio or New Jersey? Where are we looking at?
It's collective. I mean, if there's any other questions of separating, but I've got collective numbers that, I'll give sort of an idea on the bias of the rec, the bias of the pro, potentially tickets versus money, and again, whatever sort of things like that. Which games currently, and again, it'll be Saturday night, and obviously there's a lot of business done Sunday mornings, but again, it'll sort of give a gauge whether there's some relationship between bets that would have been placed before Saturday evening and what the Circa contest picks look like. And then obviously we all know that those Circa numbers come out on a Wednesday. By the time people pick on Friday, Saturday, there's obvious ones that generally are high percentage picks. And then we might be able to go to a bit of insight as to when and why some of those numbers actually moved from the Wednesday release to the current Saturday.
Very true. Very true. Top-down bettors have a lot of plays in the contest based on that line movement. But I'm pretty much going to play the every guy here. I've worked at two different sportsbook before, so I kind of know the questions to ask you. But the first question I want to ask you is more of a general question. I don't believe the tickets are the same at Prime in Ohio as they are in New Jersey. Here's why. In Ohio, you're going to get a lot more Browns tickets. You're going to get a lot more Bengals tickets. In New Jersey, you're going to get more the New York and the Patriots in that area. Don't you find that to be true and cause that to skew the numbers?
For us, no, that won't be the case. Generally, it might be the opposite, really? because other rec books might be leaning a number in a particular way. We're likely to be more where the market should be relative to the number of whatnot. So you may see a 6.5, the Browns at home, minus 6.5 or something like that. For example, the Browns at home, and we might be a 5.5 or 6 in Ohio. Again, not looking to push that number to, we're not getting the rec money early on. We can be pretty clear on that right now. So, there might be some variances there, and again, only time will tell.
Well, the only problem with your strategy is you're going to get buried alive in Ohio with the Ohio teams. You're going to be the only one that they bet. So
I guess it depends on, again, I don't mind being weighted on one side or the other, because generally we'll get to see, which is potentially the right side to start with. And then these days, there's so much action on the live. I mean, of all the sports in the world, the US sports are still, predominantly pregame, but it's getting to the point where you're writing almost as much in live as you are in pregame on an NFL game. So again, it's, you just take the bets, move the number, and then, you see what the result of the game is. Thinking too much as to who the winner is and all those kind of things before the game starts as a bookmaker. Just whack up a number. People will soon tell you where it should be. Take the bets, up the limits, and then, it also might give us opportunities to be a better number, Cleveland or Cincinnati, and try and capture some of that rec money or, customer acquisition, knowing that there's pros that can get a bet actually wanting to be on the other side versus seeing, a +6.5 at a book that they just can't access, sort of thing. So again, there's many ways to look at this, and it changes every day.
That's very true. But given what you've said, if you're a rec bettor in the state of Ohio and you're not doing business with Prime, you're kind of stupid, because based on the statement you just made, you're going to have the best line in the state for them. So if I was in Ohio and I wanted to bet the home team, I would be playing with you. So if that gives you any idea about it.
And I tell you, if I know that there's a week when majority of the pros or experienced bettors are looking to be on the opposition, it's a perfect reason to put up the best number in the state on a home team and say, come get it. Yeah. And then we just got the orders ready to fill on the other side. That's, I think there'll be some opportunities where we get to push that out and see what actually happens.
I think that sounds really exciting. So I was trying to give you a clue there. If you came to Nevada and gave us the best Raiders number, I'd be first in line, just so you know. But let me look over here at Spank Odds. I'm going to ask you the hard questions now. I just gave you a softball to warm you up. I'm looking at the lines for tomorrow, for tomorrow on the NFL. And we've got a big slate tomorrow. So what I'd really like to know is the game tomorrow that is going to affect your bottom line the most. What game is that? Did I lose you? Adam?
Are you hearing me?
I hear you now. I lost you for a minute.
Oh, okay. So can you hear me all right now?
Yeah, I hear you fine right now. The picture is frozen, but that's okay. What people want to know is what game is going to affect your bottom line the most tomorrow? And I think I've lost you again.
All right. I think when I'm on the phone flipping between a page, I have on the numbers. So it's the Bills and the let me double check. The Bills and the Steelers, and the Cowboys. That's Cowboys and the Raiders.
Okay, that's game number 415. Looks like the Steelers are minus 120 across the board, give or take. And who do you need in that game? You need the favorite?
Yeah, we're going to need the Steelers at this point.
You need the Steelers in game number 415. Okay, guys at home, you now know what the book needs, and this is one of their biggest needs. So you might want to write this one down and check him out to see how he does tomorrow. And this could be very valuable information for you to bet. If you truly want to be on the book side, this is how you do it. So what is your second biggest need here?
Yeah, so speaking of the Raiders and the Cowboys is pretty much the same position currently as the Bills and the Steelers, and we need the Cowboys.
Okay, guys, this game actually is a dog. Game number 427, I'm looking at Spank Odds. I'm seeing Cowboys. There's a lot of discrepancy on this price. You could get as low as plus 183. I'm seeing some plus 263s out there. This is why you guys have to have a line service to be able to look across the market, because there is some huge differences here. And you're needing the dog. That's really interesting on that. Okay.
Yeah, again, we, yeah, so that's those top two games right now.
Okay. Do you have a third, or you want to stop at number 2?
No, let me have a quick look.
Yeah, I'd like top 3 if I can get it.
And speaking of Ohio teams, the Bengals and the Bears, we need the Bengals.
Let me see what the Bengals are. Bengals, game number 407. You need the Bengals against the Bears. This is another big dog. So you're needing two dogs and one favorite, which is kind of what I would expect based on the time I spent at the book, that you need some crazy stuff to happen. So, given that fact, we've got Bengals, Cowboys, and the first one you called out was game 415, which was the Steelers. So, we need probably, I would guess, you're going to get 2 out of 3 of them right for the
Okay.
book. What's your prediction that the book will get right?
That's why I'm on the book side. I don't need to make predictions. I just take bets and then let the customers decide what side I'm on.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think you're going to get the Steelers, and you're going to get one of the big dogs. So I think you go 2-1. That's my prediction. That's exactly what I would play, and we'll see what other information I get after this phone call, based on a few calls that I have coming in. That's probably where I'm going to stand with you. So, are you seeing this money line? Or are you seeing sides?
Generally, it's sides. There's not really much getting done on the money lines early on. But that's,
Okay.
that's generally overall. Is majority of money comes the sides, then the totals, and then the money lines. Again, depending on if there's some parlays and stuff in there as well, or some bridge jumping bettors that like to come in every now and again.
Yeah, you got to be careful of those bridge jumpers. I remember being a bridge jumper myself when I used to play the horses. It's not a pretty sight when you go flat. But those
No,
are
it's not, and that's why I just want all the bridge jumpers are welcome at Prime. Like, just come in, just load up, fire away.
But everybody's welcome at Prime. You're not going to limit anybody. You're not going to throw anybody out.
We're not, but I especially want those. I especially want those bridge jumpers. Like, they're the ones that are the most entertaining.
Yeah, that's definitely a scary bet. Well, I'm glad we've got our 3. This is about where the information I wanted to go. I don't have any other real questions for you. It's going to be very interesting to see how the book does on those 3. Like I said, my prediction is 2-1, and you won't make one. So we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, sounds good. And again, this is the idea as we go along. Hopefully you start getting some questions, some feedback as to what other things we should dive into. As we go forward as well, I think, we'll go into some of these games, and while the line might be 3.5 at the moment, might be able to sort of look at where the majority of that money sits, whether it's 2.5, 3, 4, any of those numbers around it. And again, just diving in deeper to what's happening in the book behind the scenes.
Right. I think we can use the proxy percentages to try to help us predict where that's going to move. That'll be a really valuable thing after the first real session that we have together. Today, unfortunately, we don't have any of that. I wish we did. But that's really going to be my question to you every week is, what's your 3 biggest liabilities? I won't ask you numbers. I don't expect anything like that. But you just sharing those 3 things, I believe, is gold. And I believe people should listen to that. And if they want an opportunity to follow the book, follow the book. If you want to be a bridge jumper and go against the book, go against the book. The book's going to lose probably 1, maybe 2 weeks a year. So if you think this is the week, might be for you. But it doesn't happen very often. Probably because 11 is always bigger than 10. So I'm going to have to be pulling for the books on this one.
Yeah, and I guarantee we'll have more than 2 losing weeks in the football season. With coming in where we're at, the clientele we've got, and still it's early days, I'll be happy to win sort of, maybe 11 out of those 18s, 12 out of those 18, and hopefully that'll put us in front.
We might want to talk off air because I would like to see a number on that bet, because I'm very interested in the over. If you're going all the way to 11, very interested in the over. I have more faith in you than you do, apparently, because I think you're going to do much better than that.
Again, we can only hope, but I know it's going to be a battle this first season. The idea is just get more players in, get more liquidity, put ourselves in a position to gamble a little bit, and hopefully it works out at the end of the day. That's all we can do.
That's all we can do is on the player side too. And I appreciate your openness. I appreciate your philosophy of booking. I appreciate you don't throw anybody out. I just can't imagine how great this world would be if everybody had that theory. If we could just get together and laugh about our wins and losses against each other, the world would be so much better. And that's why I'm very, very lucky to have you as a friend. So it means the world to me, just so you know.
All right, appreciate that.
But I think that's about all we can say for today. Unless you have any closing comments, I think that's all I've got.
No, that's it. Again, it's just getting ready for the real stuff. I'm fully stacked. Got the 10 and 5 at Circa. Got my proxy Vegas horse pools, and I'm ready to go.
It sounds good. It looks like you got a lot of farming to do as soon as we hang up, too.
Yeah, nearly harvest season. Corn's just coming in. The sugar beets down the road are starting to get there too. We've got some soybeans across the road in the other paddock, and one thing for sure, there's fucking snakes up here. So we've had a few this week. One of the reasons I haven't been home in 17 years is because there's so many damn snakes and spiders down there. Yet here we are up in Michigan. And yeah, we had 4 or 5 slithering through the yard and house this week. So yeah, I won't be going into any cornfields because I'm sure that's where they like to lay down.
I'm sure that is.
All right. So I guess for another week, and we'll keep building towards week 1 of NFL.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you later, Adam.
All right. Cheers. Thanks.
Thank you.